flip his ass around and I give him a wedgie and rip his underwear in complete half. So you're like a serial runner within what is called your safe zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is like your 20
community.
miles.
Yeah. Just 20 miles?
Dude, anybody who assumes on a Friday or Saturday night that you can walk in and get anything is an idiot.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Service Annual Podcast here. Oh, he's got the powder in there, guys.
Powder.
What is that powder stored in, dude?
A can.
Canned powder?
It's very normally what a
Do you
organic
do you
drink.
snort this? Oh, you drink the powder.
energetic would do for you.
I've never heard of anyone drinking powder out of a can. That's a first for me.
Again, I'm not sponsoring any liquids.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Service Animals. Come on back. Thank you for joining us from last week. If you were here, if your first time here, thank you back again. We're going to get back going here, talking about some stuff that we've been dealing with at the restaurant this week. And also we brought in a very special guest, one of our all-time, longtime friends of the service industry. We got our man, Bryan, a.k.a. Mr. Bryan Robles, in-house over there in the corner. What's going on, Bryan? Say hi to everybody out there in Radio Land.
Hey, everybody. What's going on out there?
That's so literal. I love it. Hey, everybody. I'll say whatever you tell me.
Up
Bryan,
until a point.
Up until a point? What's that point?
Right now. I'm unleashed. I'll say whatever I want.
Yeah. I'm not going to say what you tell me now.
I'll friggin' cuss, man.
I've awakened the demon. You can swear, by the way, too. Try not to swear till, let's see what time it is.
4:13.
No, just wait like another 15 minutes, then you can just swear all you want.
You have a 15-minute swear.
No, it's the algorithm's fault. If you have a problem, ask.
It's a pause.
Take it up with Steve Jobs.
I always thought it was Yobes.
Yobes?
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Jobs
silent J.
jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like really young. I was like
oh, you were saying Jobs for jobs.
a little, just
Gotcha.
just long enough to be embarrassed. Where I was like, this is not the correct way.
Why did you think it was Yobes?
I don't know. I don't
Cheers,
know
Kelvin.
why.
Cheers.
Ching.
Ching. That's
is-
definitely Malort.
No, it's a Paul Bunyan Center Brainerd, Minnesota shot glass filled with
Oh.
powder, as you would say. Oh my god,
That was the cup.
that was crazy. This is Malort though, definitely.
Sample it.
Shout out Malort.
This is Malort.
Ooh, fuck. That shit's good. You like Malort?
I was a Grand
So
Marnier
good.
fan back in the day. That was my Malort. Was Granny.
You don't drink anymore, do you, Bryan?
No, I went through like what most service industry people could recognize as quite a journey with that stuff.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, it's you know, when you're in an environment where you can't say no to it, you know, because it's a party all the time and you love it.
Yep.
Hard to stop, but
Well, that's cool.
I'm so much happier being away from that lovely juice.
Yeah,
That's lovely.
it is a lovely juice.
Yeah, it's a lovely juice.
I haven't quite
I was a
made that.
JMO guy.
Like the
Jameson was
JMO. I
mine.
can't drink JMO. I pee my pants every time I drink JMO.
Dude, the pee
Really
the
bad.
pants thing. What
And I pee
is-
everywhere. No, it's not even just it's not my pants, actually. I pee like on under the sink. Specifically under the sink.
That's so weird.
So I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you say whatever you want. Yeah.
This is very true about this pee thing.
Yes.
One time,
Yeah.
Dill comes in, stays over at the crib. It's late night. We all go out drinking, having a crazy night, and he comes over the house. And I lived in a service industry house where, if anybody knows what that's like, it's like 5 or 6 people that live there, and then it just rotates. I mean, I remember doing the count for like a 2-year span, and it was like 21. It was
21 different
service
service industry folks.
It was crazy. We
Living
had
in-
people, we had people
at
just
some
cycling
point,
in
yeah.
and out. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Much like the service
I definitely
industry.
exaggerated, but it's probably,
Well.
I mean, it was close to, I would say 15 to 20. But anyways,
Yeah.
Dill stays over, is sleeping on the couch in the living room. I come downstairs. It's like 4 a.m. And I throw some blankets on him. And I'm like, do your thing, bud. I love you. Just You're at home. Don't worry.
I was a little drunk.
Head upstairs. He had a bunch of Malorts. Head upstairs, and I get a text from my roommate in the morning, and we slept in. I mean, it's like 1, 2 in the afternoon. None of us has to work until 4:30.
I was late,
and I get a call. I get a text from my roommate, and he's like, and it's all capitalized and exclamation points. It's like, yo, motherfucker. He's like, one of your motherfucking friends pissed up in my brand new motherfucking shoes. These things just cost me between $200 and $300 motherfucking dollars. He's like, what the fuck, man? And I'm like, what? And I go, oh my God. And I get out of bed. I go downstairs, and there's Dylan completely asleep on the couch. No. And I go and I look at the shoes, and someone pissed on the shoes. Like, there's clearly piss on the shoes, you know? But you know when somebody does that to your shit and you're just like, I'm not fucking with this. I'm out of here. And he headed to work, you know? And so I jiggle Dill, and I go, Dill, wake up, wake up. He wakes up, and I go, Dylan, did you get up and piss on some shoes? And he looks at me groggy-eyed, and he goes, look, man, I probably did it. Just tell me how much the Amazon price is for the shoes, and I'll pay for them. He goes, I don't know if I did or didn't, but it was probably me. He goes, I'll pay for them. Whatever it is, I'm just going back to bed. He fucking rolls over and goes back to bed. And then I text my roommate, and I'm like, he fully admitted to it. And he's willing to pay for it. And this is like, we're heading into a Friday shift. So he's like, oh shit, man, the first part of my fucking night's gone. I gotta pay for these shoes. But we had shoes already delivered and in the mail to him within less than 30 minutes. It was hilarious. But
my bad, brother.
Yeah. So his story is very like, I'll piss anywhere. I fully believe it because
it's just Jameson though. It's only I haven't done it since. I've completely stopped drinking Jameson. Guess what I haven't done? Pissed. Where I'm not supposed to.
Crazy. Is it a chemical thing?
It's gotta be.
I mean, there's something in it. There's something in that. It's that pee foam.
Something.
It's the
what if we
P Brothers?
You know what we should do no, he knows the taste.
What?
Like switch it up on you, but no.
Put pee in my cup?
No, put Jameson.
Fucking diabolical.
Put some Jameson in your drink and not let you know.
Oh, they try and do that all the time.
Like
I can tell.
At the bar?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows about the PP man.
That's the thing. In the service industry, if they know your weakness, they're going for the kill every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's my kryptonite for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know if that's the kryptonite.
I don't like peeing under sinks or on shoes. It's like my downfall.
Under sink is the worst place because you have no ability to really clean that up. You know what I mean? Like, how do you clean up under the sink?
Over all of everything. Over all of the you have like extra rolls of like toilet paper and stuff down there that are just like, oh my.
But usually they should. Oh, these aren't the ones that are in plastic. Like,
oh, you've taken them out to save more space. Yeah, you've taken them out to save more space.
Oh,
I would say in general, anything under the sink, just not a good place to store stuff that can get wet.
When Dylan's over.
Or I'm saying in general.
No, if there's Dylan's over.
If I've had a Jameson, I'm coming over. Watch out.
Okay. What's your weakness, Calvin?
Oh, I don't have one.
Oh, come on, man. You don't got a weak. Come on.
See, that's why he doesn't say much. He just sits over there. He's no weaknesses.
Not like a little rosé and he gets crazy.
Calvin wine drunk is a little nuts to see, dude. Yeah. The pinky gets way.
Oh yeah.
Kind of
oh my god!
like
I do remember one night. It was really late at night, and he's like, "I gotta work in the morning," and he's like, looks at me all Google-eyed, and he's like, I gotta work in the morning, man. And he's like, I'm gonna run home. And I'm like, dude, it was a 7-mile hike. You are not running home. And he looks at me and he's like, I got this. I'm a forager. I do this stuff. This is me. I am fine. Like, trust me, I'm going on this 7-mile hike. And I'm like, dude, we will give you an Uber or a Lyft. This is a $10 ride. And he's like, nah, man, I'm going. And I'm like, Godspeed. Yep. I will see you at 4:00 today for work.
Have a good night. But there's more to that story because what happened on the way home? Didn't someone find you?
Well, which time?
Done this more than once?
I've done this more than once. Yeah.
Oh no! See, I believe this would be considered a weakness, my friend.
This is why I have guests on.
I am
'cause
no longer a flight risk.
You're getting things out of Calvin I didn't even know.
Oh yeah,
I knew he drank one. I didn't know you were a serial drinking runner, dude.
Yeah.
No, there's been a few times. Oftentimes it's like a friend that picks me up on the side of the highway, or like there's
Side of the highway.
they're like, hey, isn't that Calvin?
How did you get that lost?
And they're like, hey, we should really pick him up. It's like 5 degrees outside.
Oh my God. Well, I'm glad you're very noticeable in the night running down the highway and you're not
do you have a
flattened.
designated friend or
No, they were just driving around and they were like, oh,
just driving around?
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Come on,
No,
man.
that happened. What happened with the first? There was a time when you were doing that, and someone who found you. I can't remember.
it was like one of my friend's friends. That was like, yeah. And they were like at the same bar as us at first, but they went to like go pick up
So
food.
you're like a serial runner within what is called your safe zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Which is like
your
20
community.
miles. Yeah.
Just 20 miles. What is going on right now?
It
Well-
was like an 18-mile walk. And so I was like,
And it's a 20-mile run. That doesn't make any sense.
no.
I'm pretty sure that's Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Yeah, you're just running from
basically.
Minneapolis and St. Paul back and forth.
Insane.
No, dude, there was one time we were in Minneapolis, me and one of my old roommates, we were in Minneapolis and it was late. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. And we were like, we really got to get home. We can't drive. Like, we got to get an Uber. And Ubers were like $100 at that time. I'm not even kidding. So
It's like 2001.
no, it was, I think it was because
You
there was
want
like,
an Uber, huh?
there was
Gonna
only like
cost you.
1 or 2 people like driving around for Uber. And so we looked at Lyft and it was like 85 or something. And we're like,
Sick.
I'm not paying $85 to get home. Let's start walking. And so we started walking from Minneapolis and we just like,
How many miles was it?
where? Yeah.
Eventually,
oh man,
10 to 15.
we walked until probably like 7 in the morning. So we walked like for 3 hours. And then we finally, both our phones were dead. So we found a gas station, started charging our phone, and finally was able to call an Uber for like $10 or whatever.
Nice.
It was like 7 in the morning though.
Nice.
Yeah. It was-
At least you had Uber, man. I remember times back in the day going home from the bar and not having a phone because there was no phones and there wasn't Uber. And then you're like trying to get a cab and every cab's got someone in it. And then you're just walking away. And by the end of the night, you're like, well, I just walked like 10 miles and I'm home now.
yeah.
Yeah. There's no cabs. No cab either like could pick me up or saw me and was like willing to pick me up. You know what I mean?
Oh, and this is when the cab drivers had all the power.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they could have a light on and just go like, nope, boop, just turn it off
Yeah.
and just drive just by. And like you could be like, hey, and they're just like, they're just
Yeah.
There was no requesting a musical change on the radio
Oh, no.
station. These guys would kill you if you tried.
well, they had
this.
plastic on in between them too.
plastic.
There was like in an old taxi cabs, there was like a barrier.
Like a
Yeah,
plexiglass
but-
barrier.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. I was thinking like plastic wrap. I'm like, what? No, it's like
No.
a big plastic shield,
Which
like,
I
almost like the cop shield.
understand because you
Yeah.
just have random people in the back of your goddamn car. That's I don't understand Uber drivers. They're all crazy. You're all nuts.
You're putting people in your own car who are just random motherfucking people.
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of like dedication to say, okay, I'm going for this. That is trusting
I feel like you just need a job.
yourself in a moment where you're like, I'm willing to deal with whatever chaotic event is going to happen. And in this world, day and age right now, that's the last thing I'm putting myself.
Dude, you
through.
could be picking up servers.
Dude, they probably. I don't know. I feel like that would be awesome.
Servers, I feel like-
just
No,
servers only,
I know,
but you
I'm
have to
just
be
kidding, yeah.
verified.
Yeah.
It's a verified profile. You need 3 paycheck stubs.
Yes. We're gonna
Everybody,
need
I've
You
got
have your
people
clock
still
last
using
4 of
one
your
from.
social.
Clock out cheater. No
And
ride.
I'm like,
reference
that
from your
bitch
last
Katie's
job.
been using that shit since last year. You know, it's the same paycheck stuff. She's been getting into events forever.
Well, speaking, you just brought up, we segued, dude. What jobs have you worked, Brian, in the service industry? We're hoping to bring on guests with people that have experience and have done things in the industry, so they can either, add some insight to other things we're talking about, and/or
Just hosted.
we just did what?
I've only hosted.
You've only hosted. That's the only job you've done in the restaurant industry.
Weekdays, usually the lunch rush, Monday through Tuesday.
You're a lunch host, huh?
I'm a lunch host, part time.
Oh, there you go, people. He's a lunch
They
host.
schedule me once every other week because
Shout out to the hosts out there, though.
dude. Shout out to the host.
Shout out to all the hosts.
real.
Shout out to the host. I mean, let's be honest. Let's
Shout out.
majorly.
Excuse me.
Majorly sorry if
I have a
came
reservation.
across that I don't appreciate a host, because a good host. Do you remember Paul's dad, or not Paul's?
Tyler's
dad. Oh man,
Greg, right?
Man, a
With 2
good
Gs.
host is someone that
Greg
by
with
the
3
time
Gs.
the table gets to you, they're like, we would have preferred the host.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like that.
Yeah.
I got to step it up. I like
He also dressed like a circus ringleader, though, so it's like hard to compete.
but like fresh.
He looks
When,
like,
again, when your table's like, does he own the place? And I'm
Yeah.
like, if he wanted to, yes, he does.
Yeah. You know what?
Yes, he does.
He does.
Yeah,
he acted like it,
And then
honestly.
Joe would be walking around, squirrel.
he either dressed really nice or he did dress like he just came from the circus. Like he's like one of those strong men, like the heavy men.
Oh
from the circus.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
What are you wearing right
Where
now?
he has the beautiful lady on the arm.
That's what he reminded me of. And then other days he dressed like James Bond, like,
Get on my hand.
I'll
I'll
take
bring
you to your table, madame.
table.
Yes. One home after the other. Let's go. Yeah. But yeah, that guy was crazy. That's our buddy's dad. And it's Greg with 3 G's, right?
No way.
He had 2 G's at the end of his name.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm thinking 3 G's at the
3
end.
G's
I
at
was
the
like,
end.
Good.
Well, 4.
That's
Yeah.
that's Greg 4G. He's got to keep up with the times,
Greg 4G.
Now he's probably at 5G because that's where we're all at. I don't know what he's
I
gonna
feel like 3 is the most you could do. At the end.
What's
Greg?
At
that point, it's Greg.
They're on 10G now, so now it's gonna be that one.
Oh man, we're going to Greg's house tonight. Everybody's getting fucked up.
You should go by G squared or something. You just round it down.
squared.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make it a little simpler.
Okay, so from a restaurant perspective,
Yeah.
I legit have just done everything. In fact, the hilarious part was the only reason I even went into the service industry was because my father gave me an ultimatum. I was like, not really an ultimatum. I was just like, I want a car. I really want a car, and I've done enough jobs for you. I'd appreciate a different boss. And he's like, I'm like, where can I go get a job and get a car? And he just points to this area in the suburbs that was about a mile away. And he's like, go up there, walk up there, and go find a job. I was like, okay, cool.
Sweet.
So walk up there, did my Calvin walk, got all the way there, and it was in the suburbs. They had Target, PetSmart, Cub Foods, or Rainbow at the time.
Nice.
Because Rainbow got taken over. A couple little shops here and there. And then Blockbuster at the time.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. And
I wish I could
Baker
work at
Square.
Blockbuster.
And I remember seeing Baker Square and I was like, dude, that would be really, really fun to be in a restaurant. And I was like, it seems more a little bit my pace. And something seems right about the way that it's like positioned, wherever the restaurant, like I'm one of those real firm believers in like, if you walk into a room and it feels comfortable, like you're kind of meant to like, especially from a long-term perspective. So it just felt right. And so I went in and I told them I wanted to apply and they were like, well, we need kitchen work if you want to be a line cook. And I was like, what's a line cook? And they're like, you'd be literally cooking in the kitchen for everybody. And I was like, okay.
Sweet.
So there's 15 and a half, 16-year-old me. To my left is like the nicest guy ever, but he's also bipolar. And all he cared about was his truck. So his whole paycheck would go to his truck. And then he'd like be like on his break, he'd be like, do you want to come out to my truck and sit there and listen to stuff in my truck? And I'd be like, I'm good. You know, like I have to go do homework, you know, like, and this guy was like early 30s, you know, just very, very intense. And then there was another dude who was a really nice guy, but he was like ex-heroin addict and was an alcoholic at the time, but was the nicest dude in the world. So inevitably, because I was kind of, I wouldn't say straight laced, but like I hung around my family all the time. So there wasn't really, I wasn't the guy that was like going around getting fucked up and partying with everybody and all that stuff until probably college and service industry after. And when I started in the service industry, actually, but I was the one that was straight laced, like I said. Yeah. And so they kind of put all the responsibility on me to like run the kitchen. So it'd be like 120 covers coming in. They're all 95 to like 60, probably 65 to 95-year-old people. A lot of the church crew, because it's the suburbs and they want to get some food in quick. And Baker Square was always known for their pies and breakfast food. But they had a full menu. They had a lunch and a dinner menu as well. And so, I mean, I remember just getting our butts whooped, but it was awesome to me. I remember, you know, having like 9 to 10 pans on all these, you know, stovetops and sitting there and like flipping everything, knowing I had to have 3 medium up top, a couple of over easies over here, keeping the toast going, having to have chicken ready in case people wanted to go with whatever chicken breast to go with whatever meal, keeping the eggs going, keeping the pancake, all the bullshit going. And it was exhilarating. I was like, this is super cool. And just, it was fun. Every day was different, but also there was this layer of grease on my body that was so palpable when I walked home about how like I had been sitting in front of food from any human being that looked at me. Like I looked like I'd been doing that, and I smelled like it and I felt like it. And that got to be really annoying. I just am not that type of person.
Like food all day?
Just being like in that sweaty, kind of greasy, gross feeling, but like it was exhilarating. But like I genuinely am a clean person. I like to take, you know, showers after working out and doing stuff or going and playing sports or before a game. I like to literally get, you know, fresh, like you're about to, you know, do a major league game and you're all prepped and ready, like stuff like that, especially with serving. That was how I would roll in. But anyways, I didn't like it. And then I got a chance to host for just one day. And I was like, dude, being out in the front's the way to go. And so it kind of came that route. And then I went through the whole system of like Applebee's, Fridays.
Oh, nice.
Jake's, Axel's, Bonfire, all that stuff. Nice. And then got into, you know, realizing that liquor and alcohol is where you were going to make your money at. You know, that was where your check average was going to come into play. And plus I wanted better food and things like that. So went that route and then did fine dining and did a couple years out in Wayzata, which is like just stupid money. And that was an experience and did all sorts of things. Was, you know, I'd walk into work at 3:00 and they'd look at me and be like, you know, you and 3 other people have a wedding reception of 250 people in 3 hours upstairs. And this is your team. And I'd be like, why didn't you guys tell us this stuff before? And they'd be like, well, we were busy, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, this is so stupid. I would have come in. You don't have to put me on the clock. I would have come in hours earlier and set this shit up so I didn't have to run around like a fucking idiot. And we'd have to do that shit and do all sorts of crazy stuff. And so I was dealing with high flyers with high expectations and at the same time dealing with complete chaos and anarchy, you know, because we had the keys to the castle too. We could do whatever we wanted, which was really fun, but also could be really dangerous. Yeah. And then I did independent restaurants, things for like people that were like, my friend did Peruvian
like
cuisine.
Or what?
No, Peruvian cuisine restaurant. He opened independently. And I was like, I'll help you be your front of the house guy. because he was more of a cook and this was his first business venture. And the food was so good, so good, so good. But it was in the suburbs and people weren't ready for that. Minnesota didn't really get its like culinary swing until probably within this last 5 to 10 years.
I feel like the 90s there was a Feeney and all that stuff. Early 2000s.
Sure, but I mean, like the suburbs understood it. The cities understood it, but not the suburbs. The suburbs really started to understand how big of a name things were going was when people started to get on the national TV, and even people like Gavin Kaysen who were crushing it. I didn't even know about how amazing of a person he was and that he was opening doors for other people. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So, the suburbs were out of touch with people that were trying to further, the food industry. And this was one of them. And so I worked for him and it didn't work out. And then I also got sick. I had to deal with some medical stuff, which sucked. I had a crazy blood disorder and thank God it's the service industry because you can go back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the good part about it is you don't necessarily have to have a set schedule. It's a little more free. It's, I think why a lot of people are attracted to the idea of being in the service industry in the first place,
I love it, dude. I could go on vacation whenever I wanted. I could save up for it. I could do the good old days when you used to get your cash at the end of the night.
Yeah. Well, and there's still a ton of
shout out anyone that does that still.
Oh yeah, seriously.
It's a nightmare though for the accounting.
There's still a lot of people who have like service industry as their second job too. Like it's not always like everybody's only job.
Right.
So it's definitely got those flexible time zones and hours and stuff. So
yeah, I was I would say I was more of a night person. I knew that's where the money was at. But anyways, after that, I did Dick's Last Resort for a couple years
I was gonna ask
at the Mall of America. That was super fun. I got to be just like,
so what's up with Dick's?
Completed, like,
what's the idea? I've walked by there all the time. What's the point? What's the point of Dick's?
Dick's Last Resort was a place where people and families would come in.
Is it not around anymore?
I know it's around.
Oh, it's still a thing?
It's just not here in Minnesota at the Mall of America anymore.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
It closed down.
That's what I was. Okay, well, let's see.
Or maybe a couple of years ago, I went to the one in the Mall of America.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's for sure gone.
Yeah.
Because we all stay in touch with each other and stuff.
Yeah.
They've got to have some.
Yeah, Nashville.
Yeah.
Indianapolis. Yeah,
so the concept is you bring your family or your friends or you come in, and once you enter that place, it's free reign. Like we can say not anything we want to you, but we can get pretty ruthless. And you rip on people and you say things and you're being a quote unquote dick. And
can you swear at people? Like, can you say like, hey,
we'd
buddy,
swear,
fuck you.
they'd swear,
Okay.
they'd swear, but, and stuff like that. But there was a difference between the bar area and there was a difference between the restaurant. The restaurant was definitely quote unquote PG-13.
Okay.
And then you got to the bar and that could get really, really, really raunchy out there.
I can imagine.
Really
with
raunchy.
With like
So-
a late night crowd too.
Yeah.
Or like,
Oh yeah.
bunch of
But you had
drunks.
to sell everything.
Yeah.
So it sucked. You were trying to like be like, Calvin, hey, your family came in to visit from North Dakota, where your cost of living is just absolutely the same as ours, right? And then you're going to come to the Mall of America and we're going to sell you on a $19 beer so that
Your beers were
you have
$19.
to, they were between $15 and $17.
how much beer are you getting?
Because it's not the beer you're getting, it's the cup.
Yeah.
We were selling glass mugs that had to be forced with these
So you're
beer
buying-
purchases.
The cup. That's pretty tight though.
Until
yeah.
you're like forcing a family of like four to have, their parent
I've
come in
paid
and
$19 for a
spend
beer and I did not get to keep the
$150 on bullshit that they have to lug around and go walk around the Mall of
Yeah.
America with. It's
Right,
just, it
that's
was a
true,
dumb
yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
But it was
Or
so
a
much
genius.
fun. I loved it. Dude, it was so much fun. I mean, I love the food wasn't terrible at all. The people that worked there were amazing. They were great. And we got to have the thing. I was a guy that would fuck with all the people that were walking in the Mall of America. So I would take my tables, you would be my table, and I'd be like, let's fuck with everybody else. Like, I wanted you to be my friend, but the minute you started fucking with me, it was over. I mean, I went for your throat. Verbally, I'd be like, look at this kid, and in one time, you'll love this story. One time, these kids come in the afternoon, and it's a hockey team.
How old?
11-year-olds.
Oh, I was picturing like
11-year-olds.
was
the perfect age where they're a bunch of shitheads and they're a bunch of assholes, but they're not young. They're like, you can't, but they're right on the cusp.
11-year-old males are shitheads.
They are absolute shitheads. So these kids come in with all their parents and they sit down and I crush it. I'm crushing this table. We're doing great. I've got everybody's family situated, for separate checks. I've got them going by numbers. We're gravy. Everything's working smooth, but they're coming after me, like verbally having fun. And I'm in the middle taking an order. And the kid behind me has one of those inflatable hammers that you get at the Mall of America. But what he did was he blew it up only 75% because he's smart.
He's a genius. Yeah.
Pinched the end and held it so that he has it as like rock hard as possible. And I turn around and he just wails me in the fucking dick.
Oh no.
And I drop. I mean, it hurts so bad. And I'm so pissed off. I'm seeing red. I flip his ass around and I give him a wedgie and rip his underwear in complete half. And the whole team, everyone's like, oh my God. And everyone's laughing their ass off. I'm like holding this kid up. And then I'm like, if you ever do that again, but I'm kind of joking. And all of a sudden I put the kid down and all of the kids get up and come after me.
Oh no.
Like a total hockey team would, And so they pin me into our server station, which was a tiny room. So I have no outlet. And they've got me in the room and they're just going after me. And I'm taller than them. I'm 6'3", but it fucking hurts, like it's 11-year-olds coming at you. And my coworker, she's a super short woman, mother of two, screams at the top of her lungs, get your damn hands off him, just like a mom would in the best way. And they stop. And I turn around and I'm like, thank God. And they go back and the kid is bawling. Now I'm like, I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck off, man. Like, what the hell? And the dad wants to murder me. So he gets up and he grabs my GM and he's all pissed off. And he's like, I'm going to kill this kid, blah, 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 going after me. And, I explained the situation, but to say that I thought I was going to get a tip is an understatement. And it was just like one of the craziest days ever to have like this beefed up, crazy, mad dude at you. And stuff like that happened insane. all the time. That was just one tiny afternoon there.
I don't think I could work there, man. That's way too crazy. Yeah. Like there's like stories even at where we're working right now where like, it's we had a 20 top on the reservations.
Oh, this shit's fucked.
Yeah, we had a 20 top on the reservations, right?
Yeah.
We talked to them about it. We're like, hey, here's the deal. You're gonna have this minimum, blah blah blah. You're gonna have drinks you're gonna have this whole room.
Yeah. So Baxter, so they literally had agreed to pay to rent out a room, right?
Yeah.
And they canceled the resi. So that's like the big.
Didn't they put a deposit down?
No, they canceled it. They didn't have to like do a deposit or anything like that. We just like had given them the
after this though. I'm pretty sure that's going to have to change because this whole situation was just ridiculous. Dude.
Okay,
but they end up canceling the reservation for 20. They're like, you know what? We don't have that many RSVPs for this thing. Like, we're just not going to do it. They come in later that night with like 30 people and try to get a seat. And we're like, dude, you
so they did
canceled
the
your
fuck
reservation.
you. We're
Yeah.
not going to pay for
Not
your
gonna pay
resi.
you.
We're just going to roll in deep on you hardcore
Without-
and take the tables. What time did they come in?
10 o'clock.
Perfect. They're smart. Somebody tried to play the system. That's what happened because they
They
knew
tried but failed.
They knew that we flipped over to happy hour at 10,
Yeah.
and they knew that the restaurant finishes its resis, and they were like, "We're gonna take it over."
Yep.
And what did you guys do? Did you flex on them?
They tried to, first off, they came in and were like, we needed the PDR because we originally had this reservation and yada, yada, yada. And we only canceled it because we didn't think that people were going to show up. But here's a PSA to everyone out there. If you have a reservation, okay, and you are maybe planning on coming later, even if you don't think all 50 people are coming, if you're still coming later, just call ahead and see if I can still bring these 30 people to a restaurant. You know what I mean? Not, I would say 2% of restaurants have space for 30 people randomly just to walk in randomly at a random time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no,
especially a good restaurant.
on a busy,
A
by the
good
way,
fucking
on a very
restaurant.
busy Friday night.
Dude, anybody who assumes on a Friday or Saturday night that you can walk in and get anything is an idiot.
Yeah. I'm even with two people. I'm like, oh,
Let
we
alone
should
a
make
hello.
reservation, you know.
I
Like,
walk in and I see you guys and I want to say hi.
yeah.
And I've walked in and you guys are like, you don't get a
No
hi.
time.
You know, we have no time for a hello today. And I'm like, see?
Or it's a
expectations were
drive-by
high.
hi.
Yeah, drive by.
Hi, good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do drive highs
How you doing?
all the time. Drive highs.
Drive highs.
I conveniently live directly behind our old work. And I still, because even though I don't work there, I'm out of the service industry. I left the service industry
by the way,
20
everyone,
plus years. I'm out.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
nice,
Thank
very
you.
nice.
I will never go back.
Fireworks everywhere. Oh my God.
I love it, but for me, I've done everything I ever wanted to do there, and I'm happy. And I'm leaving
20 years?
hopefully a legacy of just absolute fun and appreciation for people, and just like I love the art of what a restaurant brings on every aspect, whether it's the food, the drinks, the people, everything. But the people were always the number one thing for me. The
Absolutely.
relationships were incredible.
I think who you work with is a big thing. I think the people you have to deal with is the other big part too. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
helps you deal with those other people.
Well,
Is having the people you
sure.
work with.
100%.
Absolutely.
Having that team. But even, you know, like at your Dick's Last Resort, like, I don't know if I could handle mall people. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, oh my
mall.
God.
You mean like mall people, coworkers, or
No,
just like
just the people of the mall.
well
Just the beasts of like walking 30 tops, like, we need space for 25
dude? It really was
people from Europe. You know?
that is a different.
Because this was, you worked
vibe.
at the Mall of America too, by the way. which is the
Nobody
biggest mall
understands
on the
that
planet.
concept. That's why when I talk to other mall people who have worked at the Mall of America for anything, whether it's a jewelry store or clothing, that in itself, oh, you worked at the Mall of America. Holy shit. Like you get what that idea of dealing
That's a
with it
service
from a
animal
daily.
right there.
Yeah, seriously. Well, there's
The
like
OG service
areas
animals,
people,
man. The Mall of
dude,
America.
I had a friend. It's super funny. My friend, his mom was awesome. She was super cool. And she was hanging out with us one day and she's like, oh, you work at the Mall of America? And I was like, yeah, I work over there. And she goes, I used to work at the Mall of America. And I was like, oh, awesome. And she goes, you know, when it was Snoopy Land. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah,
Camp
Snoopy. She goes, you remember Snoopy Land? I was like, yeah, I was a kid. We used
Camp
to go there
Snoopy.
all the time. Camp Snoopy. And she goes, I used to fuck Snoopy. I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck? She's like, we'd fuck all over the Mall of America. I'm like, what are you talking? She's like, there's all these little crevices and areas where you can go in the Mall of America and fuck. And I was like, are you serious? She goes, yeah. And she goes, guess what? And I was like, and she goes, Snoopy was black. I was like, what? Oh my God. No way. That's awesome.
You heard it here
That's
first,
just-
everybody.
Yeah. Snoopy was
Breaking
black.
news.
That's hilarious.
So the Mall of America, if people don't know, what it is the biggest mall in North America. Well, in the USA, there's actually one in Canada that's bigger. So it's not the biggest one in North America.
It is the prototypical landmark that people, when they come to Minnesota, are like,
But I'm saying even the country, there are people that are like, we got to go check out the Mall of America.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to the Grand Canyon, we're checking out Mount Rushmore, and then heading straight to the Mall of America.
it's
right
just
after.
an overpriced,
You're like, why?
awesome, debaucherous place.
By the way, Mount Rushmore, dude, you're gambling just even deciding to go to Mount Rushmore.
Why? What's going on
The
there?
amount of clouds and fog that roll through those valleys just on a daily basis. Like you could roll up and it's like you can't.
Oh my God.
Good luck. All right, no, go in if you want, but you can see half of Roosevelt's nose. And that's
I don't know if
literally
you
I
it.
had a
been
good
there.
friend who went.
It's like this. It's
What?
tiny.
And it's the
Yeah, you
tiniest shit of all
Yeah,
time,
He
too.
probably has binoculars at the end of some walkway.
Yeah,
Right?
It's
it's like you can't get very close to the actual monument. So it's like
kind of.
you reach this point and you're like, oh, I kind of see it over there.
Like,
you know,
you're not going to spit on this.
Like it's yeah.
It's like so
you're not spitting on this thing.
So you didn't go to historical monuments with my family because my mother would find any sort of way to do anything the most boring and stupidest way to do it. So she's like, we're like, oh, look at this, Mount Rushmore. Look at it, not that big, no big deal. We're like, oh, look at, they got binoculars, bing, 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 25 cents. You're getting up. Oh, I can see his nose.
Wow.
I can see his eyeballs. Look at that. And then we're like, all right, let's go. You know, me and my brother and my dad are like, we're good. And my mom's like, oh, no.
We're putting 50 cents in. At a minimum.
Oh, no. She's like, there's a trail. There is a trail. It's like a 25-mile trail.
And there's Calvin.
And we're going to walk. Yeah, Calvin's already running
I'm
down
just
the
grabbing
trail.
butter at the neighbors.
Calvin's just trying to get home. And she's like, we're going to go for the walk. We're going to walk. It's going to take like 5 hours. And we're like, well, what's the point of the walk? She's like, well, you think you're close. Here, you get to a point where you can see right up to the nose. You can see
That's
right up.
serious?
Dude, instead of seeing Mount Rushmore, you're just like looking up at these dudes.
That's awesome, though. I would
Is
love
it?
that. Yeah. Can we?
That's kind of,
I was gonna say,
it's
can we
very
trade moms? But
very
my mom's
anticlimactic, dude. You get there and you're like, wow, this is.
It's
There's some rocks up there.
I think you just don't like noses. I think you got an issue with noses.
Now you found me out. Damn it.
You got two weaknesses.
I have
motherfucker.
nosophobia, and I've never told anyone before, dude.
What's your phobia? Noses?
Nosophobia, yeah.
Nosophobia?
Yeah. Ones especially that turn up.
The Michael J. Dude, I just saw this video
They go
of
like-
MJ a little bit ago.
You know
and
the ones that go-
It is just.
And they have that
it's
little-
really high up there, man. There's no way I got nothing done to my face. I'm like, come on, Mike. Just give us some shred of like, come on, man.
Ignorant. The best thing Michael Jackson ever did
So
was
ignorant.
the spoken word with Paul McCartney in the middle of that song, "The Girl Is Mine." Do you know that one? The gosh darn girl is mine.
I love that song. Yeah.
So there's this little bit like, ding, 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 that's how I do this. And Paul and Michael are arguing over
Yeah.
who the girl is,
Yeah,
whose
yeah.
girls it actually
Yeah, yeah.
is. And Michael comes in and he's like, Paul, that girl's gonna be mine. I think I love her, Paul. And he's like, Michael, I don't know what you think, but she's my forever lover. He's like, oh, Paul, you're so silly, Paul. You know, it's just like, well, this is the most unbelievable conversation that's ever taken place between two people ever.
It sold a lot of money. It
Don't
sold
be
a lot of
silly,
records.
Paul. That girl loves me.
And that combo sold a lot of records.
I don't know about that, Michael. I'm pretty sure she's mine. I've gotten her number and taken her card. Yes.
Yeah, but Paul, like she's been talking to me though.
But I don't care, Michael. I've seen her first, and that's how it is.
Yeah, but I get it, Paul. But like, you know, we got something special.
We're going shoe shopping tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna get some shoes, and all of them are gonna have buckles.
Now, I don't know about you, but I've never owned a pair of shoes with buckles on them. That seems pretty
I haven't
fancy.
either, but
I don't know if I can hate on a shoe with buckles.
I wouldn't mind it.
I'm gonna have to give shout out
pair
props.
of buckle shoes.
Buckle shoes. What's a penny loafer?
Next time I go out, I'm gonna.
You guys know what a penny
Calvin,
loafer
be
is?
honest. If you go out to the door right now, your buckle shoes are sitting directly next to my.
He also has one of those like Quaker Oats hats that he wears too. That's actually what he does. He harvests wheat. He's an actual Quaker. Well, I'm assuming because Quaker Oats makes oatmeal that's what Quakers did is they harvested oats.
Actually,
But I'm
they were
assuming
known for.
I'm assuming there might be a little more to the story.
If you're asking me what Quakers are known for, I'm going to go ahead and do a hard pass. I'm going to do a hard pass
All right.
to my great friend over there,
Oh,
Calvin.
man. I don't know, man. All right, I didn't know about the Quakers.
No,
Sorry
I'm
to
not
bring it
playing
up.
the
Sorry,
Quaker
don't
game.
cancel us, YouTube.
I
I
have
didn't
like
mean to bring up
70,
the Quakers.
I have a lot of Quaker friends. I'm not trying to piss them off.
What about are Quakers and like Amish? Is that a word I can say?
Again, very,
Don't wanna
very
bring up the
neutral on the
Amish.
Quaker talk.
Amish people make good furniture. I don't know if you know.
Is this an Amish piece of furniture? Because it sure does look.
It is. It's delish. It's nice. I think this is cedarwood.
Many a TV has been watched in
Solid.
that thing.
My grandma used to sit in this and do this.
Aw.
You can hear the little bit of creak.
Aw.
R.I.P. Grandma G.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I honestly, what's funny that I own this now and I'm sitting in it, as a kid, she was single, didn't have kids that lived with
So
her.
how the fuck are you here?
Huh?
She was single all her life.
You can have a kid and be single.
Oh,
dude.
okay. Yeah.
You're telling me
I
she wasn't married and had a child?
I'm sorry. I'm coming from like old school.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were like that, brother.
I'm sorry. Let's get them built.
So, anyways, the whole point
The
is
gosh darn girl is mine.
still this. Swear to God, I never sat in this chair until I got the chair because I was afraid to sit in it. I don't know why. I don't know if
You
she
didn't wanna
yelled at
break
me
it or
one time.
something?
No, I don't know. I just was like, that's her chair. I'm not fucking with it. She had like a rack that she kept over
for
here.
magazines. Let's go.
already
What
knew.
were her magazine choices?
I can't read, so I don't know.
That's cool. She couldn't read, or you couldn't?
No, I
You
just
can't read.
reading sucks for me. So I always
They're
just
all
kind
just
of
for show.
yeah.
Do you know what? Back in the day, I got in trouble. I told the story to somebody else and they freaked out. But back in the day, I got in trouble for a summer and I got grounded. And
You got trumbull?
I got in trouble during the summer. I was grounded and it was for like a month.
Oh, it's
And
not
it-
at school.
During summer sucks though. Like being in your room, hearing everyone playing and shit outside and like, oh, it was, yeah. Because of the sound.
Yeah.
And I read it and technology was taken from me. At that time, just a boombox. You know, just a boombox.
Grounded. No more boombox.
Dude, no music sucked. But
Yeah.
I started reading a ton, which I always did anyways because I was forced to read a half hour before bed every day.
Why?
It's good for your brain.
Make you a better reader?
Sure. To make you a better reader.
Was that why they forced it on you?
Yeah.
Was that the point? Did they want you to be able
I
to be
fell
like,
in love with reading. I
when
was the
people
guy
are-
that would be under my blanket with a flashlight reading, until I had to go to school the next day. And my mom would be like,
understand that life at all.
that's people who read books probably understand what I'm saying right now. All those magazine readers, though, you got that, dog.
yeah.
Make a shout out to your people.
Shout out all the illiterates out there. Let's go.
No, this Babysitter's Club book series, I read every single
Red
one
babies.
because I ran out of shit to read. Every
Bet you read Little
single
House on the Prairie, too.
Babysitter's Club book possible.
Babysitter's Club. I remember reading some of those too, but what was the point of that? I've totally forgotten the point of the club.
They were just young. They started a business before
I was gonna
starting
say,
a business at
was it
that
just
age
a
was an
business of
appropriate
kids
thing.
that had
And they
babysitter
like ran it like a corporation and handled they juggled all the personalities well, kind of
Okay.
like a service industry restaurant.
Being a super fan like you are, reading all these books.
Team Dawn, man. Team Dawn, son.
there's like 100 of these books. I remember being just blown away.
Yeah.
So what's
Well, don't
Give me
give
an
me,
ex-
no,
give me an
I'm not
example
doing,
of-
no, it's gone.
through the course of a book,
Okay.
front to back, front
a
to back?
drama that happened within it?
There's like 100 Babysitter Club books. Okay, there has to be something that they're doing. Is there like an adventure they're going on all the time, or is it like today I babysat Susie and she choked on some corn?
If you're asking me right now
Yeah.
to come up with a synopsis or plot
Yeah.
of a book that I read
said you
during
read
a
all of them.
punishment
You
from
said you read all of them.
years and years ago, you can go fuck yourself.
Well, that's-
all right? There's no way on earth that I know.
I still remember some stuff from some books I read 20 years ago.
Oh, so now you read some books. So go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Please give me one of the pages.
There's this one book called Jaws.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you read the movie.
Most books are before the movie.
Subtitles on.
Yeah.
No.
I'm reading books all day and I'm like, you're just reading subtitles in front of the TV.
No.
My grandma taught me how.
She did. She's like, today you're going to learn how to read some books, all right? Turn it on.
You just hear the creak of the fucking rocking chair and the TV abuzz. Yeah.
Like this.
How are you gonna sleep when you're older? When you fall asleep in a chair?
How
Do
am
you
I
go
gonna sleep
sideways?
hopefully
Do you go
peacefully?
back? Where's your head?
Where's my head?
Where's your head go?
I'm a side sleeper,
Your
dude.
sides.
Hard side sleeper. I used to sleep on my stomach for some. I've thought about this recently.
Just kidding.
Do the hard slide out.
I used to
Like,
sleep
how
on
did
my
he get
stomach.
out? What a smoothness on the carpet I could never see coming.
But I don't. I can only sleep on my side. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Sleeping on my back is very difficult as well.
You can't do it.
I've tried to sleep on my stomach, but I'm catching myself putting my arm up, and it's like I think it's coming.
Yeah,
like
I was doing
pulling it out of
I
his
was
socket.
doing this. I would sleep face first down like this. And I didn't like. I don't
You know
like
what?
that.
I looked at you, and then I think Kyle and I both had the same idea. We were looking at you, and then we are like, "That looks like he's got his hands up in the air." And then we are like, "No, he's doing the perfect. I'm laying down." Like your body was perfectly
Well,
vertical.
Yeah, it's amazing what
Well
a
played, buddy.
what a great actor like myself can transport the mind of I'm a thespian at the heart of it.
Lesbian. Yeah.
Why is that the word for actor?
Again, I'm gonna do a hard pass over to Calvin. How many passes do I get?
Sucks.
What's
man.
the
I thought
pass
you'd get more
limit
out
for a
of this guy,
guest?
dude.
Hard pass.
He's just passing on all my good questions, dude.
So why don't we explain the reason why Calvin's even wearing a chain right now?
Because he's the number one stunner, dude.
He's the number one
Gold.
stunner.
I don't know. I actually.
What
You have no
found it.
idea
What
about
title
that.
do you hold, dude? Like what?
Yeah.
What are you the champion of? Because
Yeah.
only champions wear
Dude,
belts that
I
gold.
am the number one service animal server that there is.
What's that mean?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I just said he worked for 20 years,
Hey,
dude.
Yo,
Yeah, I don't
bro.
know.
Like, well, I'm right here, man. Like, I can use the restroom if you'd like to bring this topic up.
Jun Jun. Crash. That's Steve Austin
Jun,
coming
jun,
in to fight you guys. Yeah.
Steve Austin.
You guys don't
That's
know.
your guy?
You guys don't know WWE theme music, do you?
Yeah.
Jun Jun. Jun Jun Jun. Jun Jun. Jun Jun Jun. Oh,
Do you remember The Rocks?
the Rocks?
Not his one that everybody thinks it, but he had his own song.
Like the Rocky Montana? Like Rocky Montana?
It's something like that where it was like
They're all very like just guitarists and chords, but John Cena's is pretty cool. You know that one?
I actually kind of left.
Cena.
I left when Cena kind of came in. And maybe
That's kind of
my
when I got
fault.
out too.
Yeah.
The Rock passed it. To,
I mean, when The Rock left, The Rock was
The
just
Rock
like,
passed it to Cena, right? Stone Cold passed it to The Rock. Rock passed it to Cena. I'm pretty positive that's how it worked out.
I could have sworn there was one in between,
God
but
knows
Cena
how
is
much
the
of this.
biggest one
See, I don't know.
from afar, from people who are not
I don't
avid
know.
fans. I'm sure
Yeah, I
people are
don't know.
going crazy right now. But what we're talking about.
Stone Cold. Well, yeah, I'm sorry if this is not what people wanted to go to real quick, but I have just gotten into wrestling again.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, hardcore. I'm going to WWE Raw in August.
Where's
Nice.
that
The
at?
Target Center.
Really?
5 rows back, dude.
What?
Bro, I'm about to be on TV. It's
That would be so cool.
going to be the coolest thing ever.
Dude, that would be so cool. How much
trying
are
to-
those tickets?
Only $200.
Only?
How much are you guys paying for
WWE,
tickets these days?
yeah.
It's fifth
No,
row.
I understand that, but just, I mean, come on, man. What
Come
kind of
on,
audience? What kind of audience are we dealing with?
Audience is going to be
Only
people
2,000.
older than it's gonna be people older than me or very.
But if
younger
I'd
than
like
me.
to bring a guest, it'll be about 6. But I don't know.
I'm
We'll
balling
see.
out here, man. You know how we
The
do.
girl is mine.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I'm willing to pay good money for tickets as long as it justifies the means. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
I got me and my girl floor tickets for her either our anniversary or her birthday. Can't remember, but we're going.
My favorite band.
And it's going to be crazy. And it wasn't that, it wasn't that much. It was a couple hundred a
Who
piece
is it?
again. Ed Sheeran. Ooh, it might not looking like that.
54 million followers.
I think that's kind of how that song goes.
He's the sweetest dude in the world.
You know what's funny? That's literally the only part of one song that I know of that he's ever done.
And you're just
Name me
super
another Ed
pumped.
Sheeran. I'm so stoked.
I don't know any Ed Sheeran songs. Not that I don't appreciate him or his music or his talent.
Well, I always like his songs. I can't like think of any
Yeah,
right off
Shiver.
the top of my
Yeah,
head.
I got Shiver. Yeah. He's been around for a very long
Did you
time.
hear that?
He's been around for a very long time. What?
Nothing.
Fart?
No. My stomach, it rumbled.
Oh my God.
I'm used to eating over trash cans.
Do you know what?
really am.
Do you know what a pro move is at a music festival though?
What?
Eating over a trash can.
That's a festival pro move?
Pro maneuver.
Cool.
Yeah, think about it. You got your food, right?
Yeah.
You're like, where do I eat this fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like walking. You're gonna eat and walk?
Sometimes. And then
Well,
throw
what
it
kind
at
of
a
food do you
trash
have?
can at the
No,
next
so you're
place
not
I'm
gonna walk
at.
and eat
So
that.
there's only one trash can at this
You're
facility.
insane. This is insane.
No, you have a centralized trash can zone apparently at your festival. Where at my festival there are trash cans everywhere, like a normal festival would have.
Yeah. So you just go right next door to where you get your food, and instead of walking and eating like a savage, you just stand there.
By the way, this is the number one walking and eating human being I've ever seen in a restaurant ever.
By the
Just
way,
smashing while
And
walking.
you stand over the garbage. So when you're slopping and smashing, because you're noshing so hard because you're coming down on so many drugs.
So lots of liquids or lots of like
It just is
juices or
falling.
sauces on whatever
Ugh,
you're eating.
Gross. It's all into the garbage can.
Okay.
And you go, and it's done.
So you wiped your hands on your pants.
Yeah.
Okay. See, did anybody see that? Because I just saw that.
You wipe your hands.
You were disgusting.
Yeah.
Fist pounds from here on out, brother. Sorry.
But that is a pro move. So don't walk around and eat at the festival and trying to find seating. That's just eat over the garbage can.
Where do you eat?
I mean, most of the time over a trash can.
See?
You don't have any other option to
There's no other
like,
options.
Yeah, when you're serving all day and you're on your feet, you're like, okay, well, I got to smash something in my face.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not going to do it at your table.
Yeah. The chicken
I wish you
leg,
could,
the
though.
chicken leg or the wing over the garbage is probably I would probably say my single most lovely moment in time within the service industry. It's just a beautiful wing that's been sitting up in the
it's
hot
nice.
window for a long time.
Very-
I'm like,
very-
We're
Really?
talking
Yeah,
about
almost
Brian.
cold
Food
inside,
never
but
sits
it's
in the hot well ever.
Yeah.
It's always fresh, people. Don't listen to him.
no, I don't.
Never.
I'm out of the industry. I can say what I'd like.
Well, you're ruining our industry now, dang it. No, I'm kidding.
We wouldn't serve it if it's not good. I wouldn't. I mean, I would say
True.
my
That
expectation,
is true.
my or what is it? Standards of food is perhaps a little lower than others.
I'm with you though. Do people come out? People I've eaten with, I guess, recently, or I've noticed are like, I wanted, blue cheese, and there's no blue cheese.
Blue cheese
And now,
stuffed olives.
I'm just not going to eat my food because they didn't bring the blue cheese the first time. You know what I mean?
Are those the people who you're like? What do you say to them? Because I'm the person that does this where I'm like, well, do you want me to leave the food at the table for you, or would you like me to take it? And if they're like, oh, I don't, because I'm not going to let them play the like snack at a game.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, do you want
it
me?
out
I'll
the
take
way?
this right off the bill and we'll get it right off the table for
Yeah.
you. Because I'm not going to let them sit there and stare at it and stew in their head and be like, all right, I've got him in a vice grip and now I've got a gun to his head and then I'm grabbing his legs and chopping them out. Like, I don't need them thinking about all the mean shit they
man.
want to do to me.
Yeah, I don't.
There was
people never
somebody who
think about
came
that.
in the other day too that
That's pretty aggressive.
they had they had a salad and it was happy hour, so it was like just like a small side salad, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, I saw this on the online menu, but then I saw it on this menu and it's $1 more." And I'm like,
We're not up to date.
this
Now we're
this menu in
splitting-
front of
we're
you
splitting hairs,
is
you know what I
accurate,
mean?
you know? And I'm like, this one right here is accurate. And they're like, "Oh, I don't want it then." I'm like,
It's
"You
a
do-
doll
it's
hair.
$1."
Did you put $1 on the table for him?
No. I was
what I
like,
would've done.
"Okay, I'll get it out of the way then."
See,
And-
that's where I was at. And, I was that jaded. I was like, well, here's the $1.
yeah.
Would you like the salad? Because I want to make sure. And then I'd do this. I'd go, because I want to make sure you get that salad you really want. We've got to make sure you get it, okay? And they'd
I
be
was
like,
like-
is he being a dick? And I'd be like, no,
I think he really
I
wants
am
me
not
to
at
get
all.
this salad.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure you get that salad. What kind of
Sweet.
dressing would you like? I'll get you an extra one on us because that's about 10 cents and we don't need
Extra French.
that.
Just for you.
Yeah. Oui.
Crazy
Oui, oui.
sometimes. Like how,
Hey, guess
how people
what?
get so upset
Oui, oui.
about it, you know? Like
Wee wee. Wee 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 all the way home. How about that?
So what happened? Did this table take care of you?
oh, it wasn't even my table. Yeah. It wasn't even my table. They stopped me and they're like, "Excuse me, sir. I noticed that this is $1 more. And I was like,
oh, excuse me.
okay.
Oh, you got the non-VIP Justin people, the non-homies, non-people. That was a terrible way to describe that. I'm sorry.
Non-people?
The non-people.
Wow.
Well, the non-VIP list.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're all humans on this earth, Brian.
Well, are we?
I don't know. Now I don't know. Some people are aliens. What do you think, Brian?
I'm gonna pass this one off. No, I'm passing that one off.
Give me my answer, my damn alien
Not
question.
on the alien one. No,
How many people are aliens, percentage-wise?
2%.
2%?
2 to 5.
That's like
You mean like illegal
like
aliens?
700 million people.
Are you talking about aliens? Like what kind of aliens are we
Oh,
talking?
my
Are we talking
God.
service industry
Do I
aliens?
look like I work for the Minnesota State Senate?
Well, I want to know what we're talking about here because I do believe in aliens.
What?
And then there's actually aliens that exist that I should believe in
Do you
because they're
guys not
factual
know
aliens.
about this?
You need to clarify which aliens you're talking about. This is a service industry podcast. This is a fair ass question
Listen.
with any sort of tangent style topic.
There was a form of government.
If you look up aliens right now, I'm gonna get
recently,
pissed off.
hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it was the Pentagon.
See, all you had to do was say
Listen.
mothership.
Listen. The Pentagon is saying that there's a mothership lurking in our solar system. What do you think about that, dude?
It makes sense.
Pentagon
it's
officials
fine if it's
speculate
just
alien
lurking,
mothership could send mini probes to Earth.
Cool.
What's a mini probe, though? That doesn't sound good.
This guy's dealing with the probes.
Yeah, well,
is that the probe?
This is the probe.
This
That looks
is
like one
a
of those
Charmin
bears.
commercial?
Yeah. Oh, I love these things at the bottom of all these ads. They're like, this woman took fentanyl and now she looks like this. And it's like, that's not how that works.
Well, it's the news channel website.
I know. It's really called news channel website. Yeah, so the government literally says that there's a mothership floating around in our atmosphere and that they're going to be sending more aliens to us soon.
Cool.
What do you think about that?
I totally am down. I've always believed in them.
Well, I do too, but like, honestly, what would you? Well, first off, what do you think they look like? Do you think they're like small, or do you think they're
Hard
tiny?
pass. I think that they're. I would say that I think aliens are hard to describe.
Yeah, no one's seen one yet, so I'm trying to get what you think they might look like.
I guess if I could choose, I'd wait to see
how do you
more.
like your aliens
I'd wait
to
to
look?
see more evidence.
I like my aliens tall. and
My
skinny.
brother would kill me.
That's
He'd be like, "It's the yes game." I'm just kidding. I would say probably our size. I do think that some of the old like caricatures or pictures or animation of them looking like sort of a domed head style body that seems reasonable in my head, but at the same time, dude, this is such a hard ass question. I genuinely don't know what they would look like. And there's a part of me that thinks that they're on Earth right now and they're somehow able to, be hiding or hide within the actual like Earth's population without us knowing what's going on. Or I don't trust the government. You know what I mean? Like, I think they have a huge head start on all this stuff, and
well, what's his name?
my dad was in the military and he used to tell me
Stephen Hawking.
he's a huge alien believer.
Yeah.
What'd Stephen Hawking say?
He says
What the Hawks say
in his book. This what the Hawks say. It's okay. There's too many aliens on the planet.
The girl is mine, Michael. The girl is mine.
That's hilarious. No, Stephen Hawking said he just was like, yeah, there's aliens. That are living among us. There's he had a specific number. I don't know what it was.
Thanks, Stephen.
There's there's 35 of them mathematically. There's 35 aliens.
There's no way there's not aliens. It's the point is I'm interested to see when they have the camera up and they're like, that's an alien. I can be like, cool.
Well, that's my thing.
That's
nice.
what I'm waiting for.
The reason I asked-
time
the
where we're
reason I
just
asked-
transparent,
is because I don't know how I'd react when I'd see one. You know what I mean? Or like,
you probably already have.
but but
You know I'm weird.
not one that looks like a human. But I'm saying if someone like Alien was just like, and you're just like, how are you going to react to that?
I'm gonna be like, you should go talk to my buddy Dylan. He's never read a book, and I think he'll totally understand what you're saying.
That's the problem, though. Is they're going to come to me first, and I'm going to go, I don't know what to do.
Pass. Then you do a hard
You know what I'm
pass.
gonna do,
Calvin, you better get ready.
I'm going to take you to my leader. Is what I'm going to do. His name is Brian
Who's your
Robles.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna change
got
it.
to fucking
I'm
figure it
changing
out.
my name.
Legally, you're going to have to.
Brian with a Y.
Brian with a Y. That is a kind of synonymous thing around town. People like to say that Brian with a Y.
Yeah,
That means
it's a big
the
difference.
one and only. There's only one of you with a Y. It is weird though because we both have names where it's how do you spell it? IY.
Why?
Why? Cause.
I would.
Who's on first?
Yeah.
Exactly. No, but DYLAN, right? The correct way to spell Dylan. BRYAN, the correct way to spell Brian.
Yeah.
Correct?
I think the correct way to spell Brian is whatever way.
That's the most Minnesotan answer I've ever heard in my life.
No, I've noticed that there's a huge difference between the Brians with the I's and the Y's.
They're smarter.
They're just a little bit more outside the box. The
Better
Y's
looking.
tend to be a little bit more loose, a little bit more chill. And every time I run into an I, I'd be serving and I'd say, "Hi, my name's Brian with a Y." And I would only say it because I wanted my tables to be very clear about who they were looking for if they needed something.
What's a good hook?
It's a hook. I wanted them to remember me. I wanted it to be a memorable thing. So they came back in case they wanted to become regulars.
Oh, dude, it works. People
works.
come in all
What's
the
yours,
time.
Calvin?
Yeah,
What's
they're-
yours? I got one. What's
yours?
yours? I got mine. What's your name hook? How do you get that name? How do you get that name in their brain?
I'm Calvin with a Y.
No, I'm Calvin with a Y. No.
Calvin with a Y.
Calvin.
You're like, never
As
gonna
in-
forget that, are you?
Yeah, what's your...
No, it's Calvin as in Calvin and Hobbes.
you only got another year of that.
Yeah.
You're like, Calvin and who?
Yeah, they're like, what? I don't know.
Don't you mean SpongeBob?
And
We
almost
just
everybody's
came here
like, "Oh, I love
for
that
barbecue
guy," you know?
sandwich, so...
Yeah.
So mine is, if you guys need anything else, my name's Dylan, like Bob.
Ah.
You go, like Bob,
You
Bob
could just say my name's Dylan, like Dylan.
No,
Yeah,
they're
but
like,
that doesn't
you
make
just said
sense,
that,
yeah.
idiot. That's what they'd say.
Oh,
Repeat your name much? You know what I mean? That's,
Yeah,
that's
you're
the stuff
right.
I get.
I've never, ever walked by your table and heard you go, it's Dylan, like Bob.
All the time.
What the fuck are you
I
talking
say that
about?
all the time.
No.
Literally every table.
Watching
almost every
Spencer,
table.
Spencer used to make fun of Dylan at his tables because he'd be like, hey, look over here at tables 42. There's Dylan right now taking an order, and there'd be Dylan inside the tables.
I'm just trying to get personal, man. I'm trying to get up
He'd
close
be
and personal.
kneeling and he'd be like, it's perfect.
I worked at a Red Lobster. And the guy that was running the Red Lobster told me that you need to get down on their level when you're talking to the guests.
He was also 4'2".
No,
Yes, he was.
No one wants to be talked down to, is what he
short
told me.
Steve.
He was a shorter guy. He was a shorter guy. The same guy. He's a real piece of shit. This guy got promoted to go to work in New York, like corporate Red Lobster, and he was the GM of the restaurant. I worked with him for maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month tops, and everyone hated him. He was kind of that guy who was like, you know, like the guy at an Office Space who's like, oh, well, you know, Johnny's wearing 47 pieces of flair, you know, like with a smile on his teeth. Like, you know, if you want to be more like Johnny, then, you know, why don't you, you're just like, well,
The one-upper.
you know,
He was
just
the instigator.
Like with a
The
smile on his
instigator,
like,
yeah.
you know, you smell like poop, right? Right? And everyone hates you, right? Right? This guy
That's
literally
a
like,
it's Tyler right there. That tone, you
like
know.
his last,
That's not
like
what
his-
he'd say, but that's
literally his last night. And they're like, now I'm thinking about this, like it's a humongous restaurant, right? Every day that someone has to come clean this restaurant. You know what I mean? Right? No one, not after the shift where the servers like deep cleaning every night. You know, like I work at a restaurant now. We have a cleaning crew that comes through every night, right? So this guy, like, as I'm gonna leave, it's like the restaurant's already closed. It's like 10 o'clock on a, you know, Tuesday or something. He's like, hey man, he's like, oh, you're about to take off, man. Anything else? He's like, oh yeah, I do have one last thing. Actually, if you could do it. And he hands me a hokey. You know what a hokey is?
Yeah, the
hand.
Yeah, the one that's like the rolly one.
It's like a 10,000 square foot restaurant, right? He's like, I just want you to go around the restaurant and just if you could just
check.
just hokey the whole thing. Just start here, go around, do the whole thing, and then he left before I did. I was the last one there. I remember leaving him out the door and like, is this locked? Like, I really was the last. It was like my parents were up like, Dylan, where have you been? I'm like, I literally was at the restaurant fucking hoking.
I was hoking.
I was hoking.
Hoking.
They're like, that's not a real word. Like,
the worst too is the hoagies would fill up so quick. You'd have to dump them over and over and over. And then they'd be so greasy and gross. You'd have to
have you ever tried to use one of those to pick up popcorn? It is not easy.
No, I wouldn't. No, I would never do that.
Easy.
No,
it was terrible.
Was this at like a movie theater or something?
No, it was at a ground round, and they had like a popcorn machine, and that's like how you greeted your tables. Instead of bringing water, you bring.
What is ground round?
It's an old chain. I think there's
Americana?
like one left now.
What do they do?
It was like mostly like American
beef,
style
right?
food. Yeah, but
ground round, probably chicken. Sounds like
Thai
chicken to
restaurant?
me.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. But there'd be popcorn everywhere, especially after like a table with kids or something,
Oh.
And you're supposed to go vacuum the thing, and you're like using a hokey. And
That's that shout out to the hosts
Oh,
that
yeah.
we were
Shout out
talking
to the
about.
hosts.
Shout out to
Shout out
those
to the
hosts. Man, there's sometimes I've seen some messes where I walked away and I was like, I am so sorry. And then I'd come back 2 minutes later and I'm like, wow.
yeah,
This thing
you've done
looks
it already.
immaculate.
Yeah.
This 7 hokies. Wow.
Oh, dude, Red Lobster was the worst because they gave every child, and it was like a family restaurant, so you're getting kids all the time, placemat, crayons, goldfish, saltines, and something else.
It's a good combo.
But dude,
Either the goldfish or the saltines.
what do you think happens with these when you give it to a
They crush them.
Oh yeah, for
1-year-old child that's like
all over the place, dude.
it's just like starts smashing this. I watched this guy physically assault this table with coasters because he was a racist, but B, also a terrible person. Implied by being racist. But this table of as a family of this black family came up with there was like 7 kids there, and like I said, got all these things in front of him. And before he could even come to greet the table, they had literally broken the crayons. I remember one kid was literally smashing goldfish into the like into the carpet, like as he's walking up to the table, right? And this dude was just like, he was already talking about quitting or whatever, right? The family finally sits down, and he literally walks up with these, because that was how Red Lobster started. They would set coasters down, and then you kind of start doing your spiel. He walked up and he just started.
A key indicator that a server has been to the
He
table.
He literally just started frisbeeing these coasters at their chest. And he was like, what's up? Welcome to fucking Red Lobster. Here's your fucking coasters, man. And immediately the guy's like, I gotta see your manager. He's like, I fucking bet you do. I bet you do gotta go see my manager, don't you? Because it's like, I don't care anymore. I can't fucking do this anymore, man. This is insane. He's also the same guy that came up to me one time and was like, who do you think runs Hollywood? I was like, he's like,
conspiracy.
Think about this. Think about
man.
this. I got another story about this guy too. He was a wild child. Spielberg. I'm like,
what does that mean?
What?
He's just Jews trying to say Jews run Hollywood, but I'm like, I don't
But
understand.
spiel? What is spiel?
Steven Spielberg.
Is spiel like a
Spielberg's just
Spielberg.
Berg is just the
Hebrew
last
word?
like Berg is like a very common last like part of a Jewish name. I feel like,
okay.
you know what I mean? Like you can, but so yeah,
Spielberg.
So the same guy,
right?
this-
Dylan, you young kid who doesn't have very much of an
No
influence
idea
in
what
regards
else.
to things, so maybe I
He
can sway it
was
my way.
also the same guy. So he was a heroin dealer, right? So this guy, he literally came up to me one time and he goes, "Hey man, you go to science class?" I was like, "Yeah, I do go to science class." He's like, "Sweet man." He's like, "You guys ever use one of those triple beam scales in there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I use triple beam scales in my science class." He's like, "What do you think? What are the odds? What do you think about getting me one of those?"
No.
He wanted me to.
How old were you at this time? 15?
14 or 15.
Prime.
And he wanted me
prime age.
He
for
wanted me to
manipulation.
steal a triple beam scale from schools because he's like,
Did you do it?
digital scales aren't.
Did you do it?
Absolutely not did I steal them. Are you kidding me? He's like, I'll give you $100. I'm like, I can probably go to jail for this. Like, I don't, $100, dude. And I know
that's almost a ticket to go see.
I'm a teenager and know you sell heroin. Like, why? I don't want to be involved with this, dude. This is insane. So he used to call me the Triple Beam Dream. That's what he called me. He goes, hey, what's up, Triple Beam Dream? I'm like, that's
dude,
not me,
people
man.
who give you a nickname immediately want something from you.
Yeah,
I'm
triple
telling
beam
you,
scale. Yeah,
hey,
for $100.
Calvin the Nader, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey,
Calvin the Nader.
All right, what do you want?
Instead of
What do you want?
Calvinator,
Yeah.
Calvin the Nader.
Yeah, like Ralph Nader.
No,
Yeah. R.I.P. Didn't he die?
Ralph Nader.
No, I'm thinking of Paul Wellstone. R.I.P.
Different guy.
Definitely different guy. Yeah, different names and everything.
Dude, GM story. Back in the day at Baker Square, my GM was like one of those guys that was just like going. He had a kid. He was freaking out that he had a kid. He was married, and he also was just like, I think he ended up cheating on her, which sucked. But anyways, you could just see him like going through that midlife crisis. Like he was freaking out. So we befriended each other, and he was basically friends with somebody who was still in high school, but we appreciate each other and with respect, which is what service industry does. You got incredible age gaps where the friendships doesn't matter. I mean, that they're just so pure and real. But anyways, we would play the wet towel whip game, and I know how to whip the wrist on this thing.
Be careful with that.
And he was dishwashing one day, and I wet the end of the towel, and I walk up behind him, and I hit him on the small of the back and ended up splitting his back open because I did it so bad. I mean, immediately. And then he turns around and he just is like, runs and grabs me. And just like Bart Simpson in the Homer Simpson cartoons where he holds him up on the wall and he's like, that's what he did to me and held me up there for like 10 to 15. I was like, I can't breathe. And then he's like, he lets me down. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm so sorry. But at the same time, fuck you, you know? And, but that was the first time when I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm really good at this game. Yeah. Don't fuck with me with those towels, man.
You're lucky you just hit him on the back, dude, because I saw a video when I was a young pup on the internet about someone doing that. And he
split open some shit.
Fucking
yep, I was just going to say that. Split open.
Yeah, it's literally in my head, dude. I can't get it out of my head, those images. That was what my buddy used to do. He's just like to find gross videos to just gross people out.
I was just talking about that yesterday.
I'm like, I don't know why this is your deal, but I don't like it, and it's weird, and please stop showing me all these things. Yeah. He would just be like, oh, dude, check it out. And I'd be like, assuming he's going to show me, I don't know, something cool. Or something I'd like to see. And it's just like,
he was
so yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And the oh, dude.
I didn't know there were more, man.
Wait, what?
Nobody Google any of those things I just said, please. I just cut myself off because I'm like, I don't want to feed the internet with
I love
ideas.
You, but I will be Googling.
Oh boy, we got to Scooby edit all that out, dude. No one's coming to me with problems. Okay? Well, I just wanted to say thank you, Brian. I think it's been pretty fun. We're already at an hour and a half.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Yes,
I feel like we could talk for hours.
We could, but that's
why episodes exist.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. So we crushed it. Just wanted to throw out in the future, we will be taking and listening to, we don't have right now, but Brian, at this point, we'd probably be listening to someone calling in. I want to drop that number. We have a phone number that we're going to be using to have people call in. If you've been in the industry and have some stories you want to talk about, fun stuff, or just crazy celebrity sightings or horror stories, whatever, it's going to be 413-ANIMALS with a Z. That's 413-264-6259. Leave a name, leave a short story, and we'll play it on the pod if it's got some legs, and we'll give it a talk and see if maybe we can relate, or see what advice we can give for future instances.
So awesome!
It's going to be great once we get it going. So, anyways, Brian, I wanted to thank you for coming on.
Thanks
for
I love you guys.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for this will be one of our very first podcast episodes we're dropping. So, I'm sure by the time you come back, we'll have things a little more set up professionally in here, and it's not as crazy looking. But yeah, thanks, man. Thank you so much for everything.
Absolutely.
It's been a great time.
And you know,
anything you need to plug, as they say in the podcast world?
Yeah, I'll plug.
What you gonna plug?
Yeah, so I'm a musician as well. I like to make comedic music, but also I just make all sorts of really random stuff. So I am known as my brother and I have a band called Brothers of Panama. You can see it on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff.
That's
and
Brothers of Panama at Brothers of Panama.
Yep. Yeah. I've got an Instagram, we got the TikTok figured out, YouTube, but really Spotify's the thing. I'd love for you to come check it out. Or like I said, Apple Music. But Crybaby Craig's, it's a hot sauce that is pretty locally famous. That's really awesome. I just ended up doing an album for them, like a goofy concept album, and it's up on the page. You can check it out, and then there's a music video goes with it. And then I'm dropping a new album here in about a month.
Nice.
And just going to be doing my own, recordings of things and podcasts and all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm taking the art thing and taking it to another level. So
I love it, man.
Yeah, that's
so it's
awesome.
been really fun to be a part of this and be inspired and influenced. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is something we can do again in the future soon. And
One
obviously
and done.
there's more than
One and
yeah,
done.
no, I was gonna say I don't know if we'll ever have you back, but
Nope.
you know.
And then I'll bring 30 people.
That's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, just cancel your reservation.
Yeah, I'm going to
first,
cancel. I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Knock.
Yeah.
No, dude, this has been awesome. And I love this concept because you always watch those like TV shows about service industry stuff. And as fun as it was, it's not the same. I want to hear the like, dirty, fun, good stuff that we're shooting the shit at the end of the night.
Exactly.
Waiting in the parking lot to leave, and we spend a half hour, 45 talking to each other.
Exactly. That's what the
absolutely.
design is. It's like the last table of the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We should stand next time.
Stand?
I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
I hope you get his face on that and then slow it down. Do stand.
Oh, all right, Calvin. What do we say to take these clowns out of here, man?
Well, thanks for watching the pod, and keep it swanky, you filthy animals.
Heyo. Much love, y'all.
Deuces. Let's fuck.